A sprawling desert of green and blue stone as far as the eye can see. A patchwork of massive fingerprints frozen in time like an ocean of glass. It is a perilous journey to pass through. It's cold and unyielding valleys and crags. I like those. Yet, in the very center of this expanse lies the jewel of the wastes itself. A floating archipelago hanging far above a treacherous maw. That's a little rude. A refugee haven and a slice of paradise for those who survive the trek. You, lucky, privileged, haunted, you are among them. You are invited to experience a moment in the life of one Mim Mic and discover what happened in the Malachite Wastes.
Mims, where in the city of Terrakeia, far above the maw that you once knew, do you call home?
Well, my home is a box. It was made by a friend. I have friends, and last night, Mims left it. I don't know why I'm doing Mims' voice.
Mims left their box last night on top of a spire, but it is one of the highest points, definitely in Feyhaven. Like, they just brought their box up to the top of as high as they could find. They looked around, they're like, ooh, right there. That's the one. Aye, perfect. And went. So they like looking up because they spent their entire life down, literally down. So they're definitely starting their morning, waking up to whatever they might see out of their miniature-filled box.
What does their box look like? What is it made of?
It's made out of wood, and it looks like a lot of it was like very lovingly carved. There's too many pieces of trash in there, but they're all glued, but with some sort of weird ooze that anyone that looked would probably think that Mims made it themselves, like just kind of plucked onto the walls there. And most of it are like the colors of orange, yellow, red, just random pieces of trash because that reminds them of like, ooh, it's sunlight, even though the main source of light here is green. But they're like, warm color, because they're from cold color. It's more of like a scarf that's been bundled. It's probably from a friend, and a lot of art materials. And I picture that they're probably semi-magic art materials because they grow and shrink with Mims, because Mims tends to go to bed very, very, very small. They have like a multi-bedroom box, but it's a miniature. They live in a dollhouse, but it's a box.
I love that so much. It's the kind of thing that if like some teens came across it, they'd be like, what's this box full of trash? But like if anybody took the chance to actually look at it, like everything, even the trash itself, is placed with such precision and aesthetic purpose that it would be hard to claim that there wasn't intention, at the very least, in the way that Mims has set up their home. Does the box have a window, or does Mims have to leave the box to see what's outside?
Kind of think of those old jewelry boxes that have like a hinge, but they might have like the tiniest fake stained glass in the top. I feel like Tio would have put that there for them. The box is made by Tio. This is a fact.
There's no way that Tio didn't make this box. And Tio lovingly crafted it. When you were talking about, you have never really seen trees. You've never really seen the greenery of life outside the wastes. And when Tio described his treetop home to you, the beautiful place he came around full of lush grass and leaves, I can imagine for Mims that was something very new and different, so different from the green that the malachite waste is made of, that kind of cold. So he's used a lot of, and he's more of a tinkerer than an artist. It's not as precise. It's a little bit, a little sloppy, but technically beautiful. And it's a solid box with a top that you can see that Tio has essentially put together like little leaves and little flowers in the top that remind him of his home to give you a sense of home.
That's so cute.
The sun that streams through it today, you can tell that the actual sun is out today because it's a little less green and a little more yellow as the light comes through the top of your box through this. It's like standing in a sunlit glade that you will not know yourself, but it's the closest thing that you've ever experienced to standing in a sunlit glade.
I think Mims is just going to, like, they wake up and definitely kind of become a reflecting pool directly underneath the sunbeams coming into the little box. And it, like, they're photosynthesizing for breakfast today. Obviously, it has plans to get this new thing called sugar much later, or not much later. It will be the first thing on their mind soon later, sater, if you will. But they just kind of become a little blob underneath, soaking in the sunlight because that is one of their favorite things since coming to the surface, even after how long it's been, I don't know, a year or something. After getting adequate sustenance from the sun, I think Mims kind of just begins to grow, so their box like kind of sloops into them.
Incredible.
And their current form would be, if you were to describe a bird to someone that has never seen a bird before, take that and add a reptile on it. So it could have been a dragon, but it is most definitely not a dragon. It's like a child's drawing.
Oh, a child's drawing of a bird dragon?
Yes.
Oh boy. I think the denizens of Feyhaven are used to seeing there's many shapeshifters amongst their lot. People who can do glamour, changelings. There is something unsettling about the way that Mims, having had only contact with people for so many years in this dark place, was adventurers who would pass you by, sometimes engaging with you, sometimes not, sometimes being eaten by you, sometimes not. And the other denizens of the maw, other creatures, bugbears and lava beasts. And so being exposed to so many different shapes and creatures and people, there is something that borderlines horrific, but truly is whimsical about the, I'd say, the placement and shape of the creatures that Mims sometimes tries to be. And it's getting to the point in Feyhaven where they are more used to seeing what ostensibly is a doodle of a dragon or a half dog with people legs walking around. Both welcome to feedback on how they could look more normal, but also, why would you want to look normal in a place where everyone can be so different?
Yeah, I feel as though Mims has decided somewhere along the way, because being a mimic, they are able to see exactly what something would look like. Like, they're like, oh, okay, you want a treasure chest? Boom, I'm a treasure chest. You want a dog that will lure you in and be so cute? Boom, I'm a realistic looking dog. But they seem to prefer doing ones that are just like on the borderline of this is a total freak right here, in a loving brackets way, because they spent so long being the thing that everyone desired and was expecting. And so now it almost feels too much like manipulation if they become exactly what someone is desiring, because they're like, oh, look, it's a bird. That's not a bird.
They would rather be shocking than accidentally mislead someone to believe there's something they're not.
Yeah.
I love that. As Mims gets ready for the day as this little dragon bird creature,
Caw.
It's early morning, and you can smell it this time right as sort of day breaks, the sun comes out. You can already smell below you in the marketplace at Flame and Flower that Cassandra is got new pastries in the oven. You know that right above there, Ink always has either weird jams and sugars or stuff that will make like weird little potions he's trying out, and you know that they are up and ready. At this point, they know that you are going to be the first customer of the day, probably.
Excellent. Just at the smell, some poor person is definitely having like a miniature rainfall down below where Mims is flying, because they're definitely drooling at the thought of just sugar. And that would be the first thing that anyone in the bakery hears as Mims not crash lands, but does a very loud landing right outside, like a little tinkle of like, and they're just like, sugar, sugar.
You see Cassandra, young Dragonborn woman, pokes her head out.
You look like you could be related to me, I think.
I could do that. And they kind of like morph into what would have been like a half sister of Cassandra, but very orange.
There's something about the way that mimics transform. Can you describe when Mims transform? Changelings have a way of doing things changelings are built to be sneaky. Changelings are built to like fit in with humans, and almost imperceptibly walking behind someone can walk out as somebody else. When Mims transforms into things, mimics are in the dark most of the times. They don't have to transform secretly. They just have to look really good being still. What does mimic transformation look like?
For Mims anyway, it would be something of, have you ever seen those magnets, like the little bits of ferrous bits that go all spiky and shoot out and kind of go like globs? If you were to animate like a glowing sort of glob that is constantly spiraling in color and kind of just going, it's almost like clay molding itself. It is pretty fast, but like if you're watching, you're gonna see like this head of the bird just extends like someone's stretching dough, and it will look a little freaky.
I think there's something like, you have been around Cass enough that she has seen you transform fully before, but I think there is something still a little startling where there's all this manic energy and then you're standing in front of her as a bright orange dragonborn looking.
I don't know if I'll ever get over that. That is something else entirely.
Sorry, I need some sugar.
Give me an insight check.
That was a nat 20.
Oh my god. Incredible. On a nat 20, I think when you kind of step into Cassandra's voice a little bit, Mims has been around people more and more often. If you had not known Cassandra, you would have thought that she was really disliked that. You can understand now there's more of a sense of, there's a little bit of disconcertion of hearing your own voice spoken back to you that way. But you also see on an insight check that she is checking her own response, right? You know, like in another world, that would be something that scared her or made her deeply uneasy. In this world, you see that she's saying, nope, that's just something that Mims does. Like it is like a part of who they are. It's fine. You know, like you kind of watch that thought process happening of kind of like, it's fine. It's okay.
I'm sorry, I'll tip double.
Oh, hon, you don't have to do that. It truly is a remarkable thing, and I know it's in your nature. I'm not always used to it, but that doesn't mean it's a bad thing.
I've been hearing a lot of different sort of takes on that, but I appreciate it. Yes. Oh, you know what else I would? I would like, I have an art show today. Your friend.
Yeah, we're friends, Mims. Your studio's down in Mid-City, right?
Yes, technically.
I don't know what's going on tonight, but tell me where to be and I will try to be there.
I think unable to remember the name of it exactly, Mims would turn into the location, like on miniature.
You transform into, the Derek Zoolander School for Kids Who Can't Read Good. And she lights up and she's like,
Oh, I know that building. That's one of the art center down a little bit. It's closer to Hephaestus Hall, right?
Yeah, that's the one.
All right, amazing. Wait, I don't even know. What kind of art are you going to be showing?
It's non-representational. It's so blobs, and when you feel a taste, or no, back when you taste
Mims is like becoming this little like squiggle of I don't know what I'm talking about right now. But then they settle back on almost a Kirby-looking-esque frame while they start talking about their art. They're like
a round little...
just a round little guy with like little stubby legs and stuff because it was easiest to create that form without thought. But
it's when you are thinking a think, and it's the colors of that thing and the shapes and like the sound and how it tastes, like that's but in 2D.
That sounds amazing. That sounds really cool. I know that even though we might not experience that the same way, I know exactly what you're talking about. 'Cause it's the thing, tell me if I'm wrong. So it's the thing of like, I ate a pastry and it reminded me of making that pastry with my dad, right? And then I would feel at home, and maybe that would feel like orange and like fluffy. That's right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you could, like, she looks like a little proud of herself for, like, extrapolating that.
That sounds like so much fun. I would love to come see it. Do you have a flyer or anything? Do you want to put one up in the stall?
Yeah, for more friends.
Yeah.
and they just they didn't have a flyer made, but they kind of like pull one out of themselves. So like they kind of shake it out a little and go, wait.
Cassandra kind of takes it, like, in their talons, like this.
Oh, it's perfect. I'll stick it right there.
And kind of, like, uses the adhesion to kind of slap it on the post a little bit.
Self-glue.
That's great.
That's my name.
Yeah. So, do you want... Laurel says it's been a little chilly, so it's been hard to get the fruit stuff as much, but we did just get this big order of cinnamon because someone said there was a cinnamon shortage in the city. So then I guess the town was like, no, there's not. So we have cinnamon twists and cinnamon buns. You will like the cinnamon buns better because they're extra iced, so they're gonna be sweeter. You wanna try that? All? Okay.
You see, like, she kind of lights up, and she has, like, she gets you, like, a cinnamon bun and a cinnamon twist. It's not as famous. You've had Winston's cinnamon twists before. I don't know if you would tell Cassandra they're not as good. They're not quite as good, but they're pretty good. And you see there's other kinds of, like, there's some, like, pastries. There's, like, a donut that's filled with, usually when she would make, like, kind of, like, fruit jams and stuff, there's more cream stuff. So, like, there's something that has, like, a thick, like, coffee cream in it. There's something that's got, like, some things that's, like, a little more savory, where, like, she's added, like, leeks and like, bacon to a cream. So it's almost like a bagel with cream cheese. And she kind of gets you one of each of them, and she puts the basket in front of you.
That look about right?
They just stand there like,
this is the best morning ever.
And you see that Ink, like, pokes his head down, and Ink is like,
Hey, you, want to come up here? You want to come here? Come here, come on.
Yeah.
Ink is tiny. Ink is like maybe an inch and a half tall. His little stall is carved into the rock above Cassandra's. It's maybe the size of like a few matchboxes put together. And you are one of the customers, like the pixies, like some of the other smaller denizens of the city, the like little mousekin people who could actually step inside the shop to see that the jars are about as big as Ink or about as big as you when you actually go up there.
Mims pulls one of those, like the water from Moana, and like gets smaller and smaller, drop-like as they slurp, basically.
Slurp themselves.
Onto Ink's little landing. They're like vibrating with excitement.
And Ink sort of stares at you and is like,
Wow. Hi.
Hi.
Hey.
Hello.
I like the tool, the water. It's cool. It's how you got up here, and that's okay. I feel normal about it.
and like he sort of drags from behind. It's a jar and it looks like it's full of crystals, like glass or crystals. And he's like,
I've been growing sugar crystals in this glass for you because I thought you might really like it. And if you put it on stuff, it's like sugar. It's more sugar. And it's like a lot of sugar. And I just think you're amazing. Well, I think you're amazing. I mean, I just think you're like one of my best customers. So I want you to have this.
Can I make an insight check to see what Inks would absolutely love to see right now?
absolutely. I will even, because you are a mimic, and this is essentially, it's almost like you have detect thoughts, like a low level of psychic energy toward this anyway. Make that with advantage.
Damn, okay. We're just rolling. We're a high roller today. That's an 18.
Damn.
Mims is just like, I want to make you happy.
You feel something deeply unusual for you. This is interesting. You
Are you making Inks have a crush on them?
you feel as though Ink would be thrilled no matter what form you took inside their little store. Like they would be absolutely enamored.
With this information, they almost become like a floating amorphous blob, but with the colors of the rainbow titanium. Like it's just very liquidy, rainbow melty.
Ink's like,
Wow, you sure are something.
You make some things. Sugar. Excited. Thank you. Wow. You're awesome. Friend?
Ink is like the color of ink. Ink is like oil slick black. You watch this little imp turn black cherry colored, like black cherry red. Like essentially any sheen that comes off him is this like little red sheen. And he's like,
It's fine. You should just take it. Thanks. I'm really glad you like it.
I love it. Think.
While Mims reaches out to they've been taught a firm handshake says a lot of words, and they don't know what words are like adequate for the feelings that Ink is conveying right now. But if Ink accepts the handshake, Mims would let the color from Ink's blush essentially kind of take over their little blobby arm. Kind of just spiral through them.
Ink's little hand is very pointy. Ink has they're essentially instead of fingers, he's an imp. He's a very pointy creature. It's almost hesitant to take the hand because he doesn't want to scratch you with himself, and he sort of kind of puts his hand on your hand, and it's sort of I don't think imps are very handshaking people, and as long as he's been around handshaking, I still don't think he's I know what to do with this. So he kind of pat on top of it, and he's very warm. It feels kind of it kind of probably reminds you of when you were in the maw when you'd be close to lava flow. There's this sort of little spiky heat kind of feeling that radiates from Ink.
On Mim's end, it their little hand, it's kind of if you put a toothpick in slime and it just gets softly enveloped in this little goo.
So they're standing there. Where Ink's got his hand out like this, and it's just being swallowed by your hand. And
But Mims goes,
Thanks so much. Yes. How much? I give.
It's a dog house. You should go. I hope you really, really like it. I should go. I'm gonna go. I need to go do something. I'm so sorry.
and his hand like slips out of you, like it's like falls out of yours. It's still got like a little of you on it, and he like scurries back into like where his like he doesn't have an office. It's like he goes behind a bunch of jars, and you can just hear this like.
I also make those noises. And Mims is not unfamiliar with making such noises. They're typically way more inclined to just make noises rather than speech, as nice speech is very foreign to them. The first language that they really knew was mostly a lot of cussing. Because anytime they like revealed themselves, most of the response was, "Oh, fuck.
Fuck, shit, fuck, oh god.
Yeah. And then they'd follow with a type thing, or asking them to please kindly,
Can you stop the loud screaming? It tastes bad.
What was the first, because for years, you didn't bother with that. For years, you just ate them. And every once in a while, an adventurer could get a one-up on you where they wounded you and you were able to get away. Can you remember the first time you talked to an adventurer?
There were definitely a few times that Mims attempted words because part of them realized if I give speech and I'm looking like something that would give speech, it's way more convincing than those amateurs that are just being boxes or treasure or something. But the first time it was, I'm actually trying to communicate, there was a party of adventurers that had come in and they had a big blowout, like some sort of fight happened. Mims totally didn't know what it was the context of, but it made the air taste bitter. Like when you put way too much of one spice on something and it just kind of becomes a dirt flavor, and then you add in a vinegar and it's just like, bleh, it tastes extra bad. And one of the, I think it was the adventurer party's rogue, like just a really small elf-ish type person had run into Mim's cave and was just crying and yelling at themselves, like in frustration. And Mims was like, I had just eaten. What if this is interesting. I've never seen this before. That was probably the first time Mims tried to communicate, to ask what was wrong, but not in the right words. It was more of,
Not food. Wrong. Sad.
like just a weird voice out of the corner of this dark cave far away from their party. Like definitely if Mims had decided to do something, they would be fucked.
And probably in a way that absolutely terrified whoever that person was. Like, that person wasn't like, oh, I'm introducing like a weird NPC and then they killed everybody. Like, you know, like everybody killed them immediately. Like there was definitely that kind of like, oh my God, flee instinct from whatever the scary voice in the darkness was.
Mims had blocked the entrance. Like it was their first thought of, there's a person in here, it could be food for later. I'm gonna block the entrance off and become part stone wall. And so they had effectively trapped this very poor adventurer there, but had then when they realized, oh, this is starting to taste way worse in here, like they could remember,
Sorry. No. Okay. Safe.
and like kind of still in their monstrous voice of,
Safe.
I think there's this like elven rogue who is hidden out and is like breathing really hard. She's really scared. There's just been this huge blowout. She's wandered away from her party, very vulnerable, and now like the wall is talking to her. And I think she's just like,
what am I? Oh God, am I going crazy?
Talk self crazy, not talk self not crazy.
Oh, I've never met a talking wall before. This is a little weird. You kind of scared me.
Sorry. Just why taste bad?
I kind of think I always taste bad, so don't eat me, please. I'm really bony and,
Smell bad
I don't
too.
taste
Just not
good.
no.
So, we don't
Not
exactly have a shower
No.
or anything down here.
And that's when Mims had like, these emotions are weird. This was a bad idea, and kind of just like slithered away.
and this adventurer is like the wall kind of sucks into itself and like slinks away. And this adventurer is like,
What the fuck?
like they go back to the party. They're like,
Guys, I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry. Guys, I think I fucked up. I was just a wall and it was tongue and teeth. And I'm sorry. It smelled bad. I truly smelled bad. Guys, I think I fucked up.
but that was, you had this first attempt talking to somebody. You didn't understand it and you didn't know what had happened to make it worse. But you did know that when you tried to talk to it, it did not immediately try to hurt you. And that has not been your case for the most part with adventurers in the past.
Yeah, definitely. In a way, what Mims has become is a bit of an eldritch horror.
Yeah, truly. Like an eldritch horror that at this point in life enjoys being kind of like cute things for the most part, or like less horrific things. You're standing up here and ink has slipped away and Cassandra kind of like peeks, like she's on her tippy toes, sort of like you can see like the top of her head and her eyes.
Everything okay? I hear a lot of squealing.
Sugar rocks, not on the house. They're in my hands.
Ink gave you something on the house?
And you can hear from the background, he's like, shut up!
Well, what is on the house?
So on the house means you don't have to pay for it. He's giving you a gift.
Friends!
Oh, flyer! And they like slap another shitty little flyer like on the door of where Ink went to go scream.
See friend there. Bye.
And Cassandra's like,
Yeah, your friend. You're definitely friends.
and Ink's like, shut up, shut up, shut up! And you hop away as you put this miniature flyer up in Ink's little shop. Incredible. You've got your basket of pastries. What's Mims's? You know that your show is in the evening. Knowing time is still so new for you. Like, you know that when the sun starts to go down and Solana Alpha is fading, so about the time when in Fayhaven the streetlights start to go on, that's when you have to be down at your art show. Today is a day that I think, do you feel like you're prepared, like the show is all ready?
The art has been done. Like, Mims spent much of the last 2 months doing a version of something on a version of a canvas. Every single day something was made. But Mims, in the time going up to their art show, has encountered a lot of protests to what was considered a monster, having something that's supposed to be like an intimate show of happy and good feeling. Because these are all very interesting and new feelings to Mims. Like, Mims understood the happy of my stomach is full, but never the happy of making someone smile and that type of thing. And it took them a really, really long time to title their show. And even yesterday, they'd retitled it. I think currently it is just like the word good in several different languages until like basically the little banner of this is happening today was just too full. And so it kind of got re-enchanted after Mims made it. Mims had to go ask someone like, hey, can you make it so that it just cycles
Good
through?
and different.
And then it has a little ink colors in the corner. So it's almost an animated banner. But Mims hasn't really figured out how they want to present themselves for this because they've seen and read. I feel as though they've gotten an ability to read over the many years. They've read like there was this one newspaper that was saying this is what an artist should look like. And they were really confused by it because they're like, I don't fit any of this. This is not what I look like. And every time they meet someone else and they've asked, art looks like I make art. And then everyone gets a different image in their mind. So the interaction with ink and Cassandra just kind of, the first time it was, oh, I shouldn't do that. And the second one was, I can be whatever. So they're very confused. So I feel like there's going to be stress eating of the sugars.
And I think the most confusing thing about that article you remember reading, it's like what an artist looks like. And it was supposed to be, ironically, very like freeing. It was supposed to be like, this is what an artist looks like. You should some way like showcase your style. You should do this. And like the last line was like, and most importantly, be yourself. And what does that mean? What does that mean when the self is something for you and for many people that is changing, that is reforming, that is different identities for different spaces? As Mims is eating these pastries, where are they gravitating toward? Where do they go next? And as they're kind of thinking about this,
I think they're going to probably someone they know has very strong opinions and has given them a couple lessons in manners beforehand, but that's where they're going. They're heading to a tea house because they're like, I can, one, get more sugar, and maybe they can tell me another lesson. Maybe this is a lesson I have missed.
So you head toward a tea house that's still in Fayhaven. It's beautiful. Everything in Fayhaven is beautiful to you, again, in that way that, like, it is so different. It's a very classically styled, like, everything inside and everything about it seems very delicate. The tea house is full of these, like, large open windows that on nice days, they can actually pull them into, like, a French-style door, and people are sitting on, like, the side of this cafe. The young man who runs it, well, he looks like a young man who runs it, has been running it probably for many, many years at this point. You remember your first interaction with this young man was not like the most pleasant situation. He's very serious about tea, and you coming in and saying something ostensibly like flower juice, like, was not...
Mims had eaten the leaves, just straight up.
The like, horrifying... And again, it's that kind of thing that, like, you find happens where there's, like, an absolute horror in what you're doing, and also, as a tea lover, like, this deep admiration for how much, apparently, you, like, enjoy tea. So you weren't banned, you weren't kicked out, and he took it upon himself to be like, let's learn more together, shall we? Shall we just, let me teach you how to tea. And as the etiquette of tea became a occurrence, the etiquette of personhood kind of secondary to that. I think that sometimes Tio would come here with you, and Tio is a little less... Tio is so quietly supportive in a way that is probably also confusing. His opinions of what you should do and what your life should be are often, what do you think? Like, what makes you happy? How do you feel when this is? It's a lot easier to go to Timmons at the tea house and have him say, like, no, this is how you should be. Like, that is a very, like...
The first time that Mims did get kicked out of somewhere, they went straight to Timmons to ask, like,
went wrong. I was doing this, and I had seen that they wanted me to look, well, the large in the front on the chest, and I did that, and they got really, really angry at me, and someone hit me with the thing and called me, well...
Oh, I see.
I've told you the things that they've called me, and it was horrible, and I didn't like it. What should I have done better?
Well, Mims, here's some advice. First of all, most of the time when transforming into a person, you want to be wearing some kind of clothing. I think that was probably something that they didn't respond well to. I would, in fact, like if you were to step out, put some on, and then step back in. Or you could just make some right now, but I'm a little, discombobulated with what's happening. Also, I think for the most part, when you make the chest region big, there are all sorts of shapes and sizes as they come, but I think there's usually two, at least from what I've encountered in the past. But you can have as many as you want, as long as you put some clothes on, Mims. So that'll be very, very lovely, thank you.
Mims had consequently learned always wear clothing if in a humanoid appearance, but they also have started to put clothing on any animal that they become. They've found this concept very funny because people tend to find them a lot cuter if there are a small animal wearing clothes.
Cat in a hat, cat in a sweater.
Exactly. But yeah, they made their way to Timmins, the professor.
The bell rings as you come in. Do you have any pastries left, or do you harf all of them?
They are all gone. There might be a tiny bit of the sugar rock still made that they would try to give to Timmins to put in their tea.
Timmins kind of looks at it
No, what have we discussed about sugar in tea, Mims?
It tastes good.
No.
Wrong. No.
Come on, Mims.
Not Sully the flavor.
Not Sully the flavor, that's right. The flavor is so nice, Mims, and we can enjoy it without things like milk and sugar. That's for lesser people whose palates are less refined and need to have that.
I have a large one.
You do have a large one, indeed.
But definitely at that moment, they'd have the typical large mimic mouth of just too many teeth, but it's in a big goofy smile.
Unsettling. Yes.
But they shrink back.
What is the form that they take when they go to see Timmins?
Definitely of indiscriminate sort of, you can't really tell. Are you an Eladrin? Are you a dark elf? What are you? Because the skin tone is just off. It's like a marbling of the skin tone because it's abstract and pretty to them.
It's a type of an Eladrin that, to your knowledge, does not exist. And Timmins is, it's a very interesting thing because, as somebody who is so kind of refined and elegant, there's something about the way the marbling, you have gone with refined and elegance in the way that Mims perceives refined and elegant. What are they wearing? That's what I really want to know.
Oh, the most ridiculous high Victorian-esque, they saw the really, really wealthy up in Fayhaven and in the marbles and stuff. And they saw them wearing these tight-laced satin-looking dresses with all the ruffles and a little plume. And they have a fancy little tea hat.
And it was full on for a masquerade ball. And that's full on what they're wearing here. And Timmins kind of
Oh, very nice outfit, Mims. That's lovely.
I came up with it, not myself.
Oh?
The colors are mine.
Well, looking around and seeing what works and what doesn't work is one of the best ways to, see what works and doesn't work.
So what works when people look at you, or me, at me? What works? I have art show. I'm doing that tonight, and I'm gonna be lots of seeing of me will be happening.
Oh, I see. You want to know how to present yourself properly for an elegant art gala. Is that what I'm hearing, dear?
Sure.
Excellent, dear thing. Let me see.
And he's got like a collection of like tea aficionado like magazines. And you see, and he's like,
Well, these aren't necessarily artists, although I do fancy that many of them spend most of their time painting small china cups and perhaps going to the museums and copying pictures of the greats. And I think that most of the time one will wear some kind of smock, like a longer smock that is artfully pulled up at the, you have a 3/4 sleeve. And then, but you don't want to look, you wouldn't want to use something covered in paint. That's not very elegant, Mims. And then you want to, perhaps wear some white slacks and boater shoes.
he's essentially describing to you like a retiree who paints on his boat in the summer. And like,
Oh, and you just have a look about you that says, I know what art is. You just have to carry yourself with more of a relaxed shoulder. Because you're an artist. And artists don't have to care too much about things.
Okay. So boat shoes, their feet turn into boats. Long smock. They aren't putting a body in the smock. It is just a long, pristine white smock. And then they have shoulders that are just a little too low, like there's no collarbone or rib cage to hold them up. They're just kind of like
hanging out of the smock.
hanging out of the smock. And they have like a little orb of sunlight going around their head because it's in the summer.
Oh.
Did I get it right?
No. Not at all. Not even in the slightest. Give me a moment.
And he's flipping through kind of his tea magazine. He's like,
Oh, no, that's a winter look. Okay. Oh. Well, I dare say something like this. It's not exactly what I pictured, but it would be appropriate.
and there's like a spread of some like, like wealthy elves out on like a picnic blanket, and they've got their like, like muffins and cheese and whatever, and they just are kind of like laughing at nothing. Like it's like that woman laughing at salad, just kind of like.
Haha, this. Not the blanket or the muffins, but maybe one of the people in here look like they do art, I guess. So why don't you try this on?
Okay, not muffins. That's a bummer. I like muffins a lot.
We have some muffins. Would you like a muffin, dear?
Yes.
You must make me a promise that you will drink the tea separately from eating the muffin, because you
I
wouldn't...
will not wash it down with the tea. The tea has to be enjoyed on its own.
Thank you. Thank you, Mims.
And he brings out like, an English. It's like it's fine. It's an English muffin. It's not very sweet. It's just kind of regular.
Mims loves every form of pastry because that's the one thing people never brought into the maw when
Oh,
adventuring.
never.
So all of these like delicious baked goods that are not stale bread, which is the thing that they hate the most because they've eaten a lot of stale bread.
Yeah.
And like shit rations. It tastes like a lack of hope. But pastries, baked goods, sugar, all of those things taste like hope and sunshine and happiness. So Mims just kind of becomes back to this Eladrin person, and they sit extremely daintily, like they have gotten this perfect posture. Like you could pile books on their head at this point, like pinkies up, back straight, don't lean. Like they've gotten it down for how they enjoy tea.
Oh, perfect.
And in kind of concession, Timmons will now mostly bring you like fruit forward tea. He would favor something more floral. He would favor something a little more like classic. His concession of you not being allowed to put sugar in his tea is that he's often giving you the tea that he still deems appropriate while maybe a little bit more exotic.
It has notes of apricot.
Apricot. Yes.
Oh, it tastes like this. And like they kind of just, they hold out their hand because they're being polite here. They hold out their hand and it turns into like if you were to touch the belly of a kitten, like that type of softness. And it kind of sparkles a little in the light.
Like this.
Is that what an apricot tastes like?
Yeah. This tea tastes like that. Except
And he kind of like darkens it a little so it looks like it's much thicker fur. It's like a slightly older cat. And it's like, it's this when you go like this, and he pets his hand.
And I think you see where I think Timmons is much less shy about showing you that he does not care for the shape-shifting thing for the most part. I think you see like a little bit of kind of softness. Like there's something about that description. He reaches out kind of like almost without thinking, like to touch your hand, and it's like,
May I?
of course.
he kind of touches it. He goes,
Like a curled up and cozy. A kind of cozy feeling, perhaps.
Yes, yeah, cozy.
I do feel there's a sense when you have a good tea you really enjoy. I feel as though it evokes an emotional response. Perhaps that's too crass. It evokes a warmth, but every flavor has a different sensation. And what I do appreciate about you, Mims, is how you understand this. There's so many people, they think teas all taste the same. That they are just, leaf water. Like those bean drinkers and their coffee. And there's a subtlety. There's a sensibility of tea drinking that is, drinking tea in itself is an art. And I'm so glad that you at least seem to appreciate it, Mims.
I appreciate how it feels. I like seeing how when you are drinking different teas, that you've all shown me the vanilla one, and then there was that strawberry and cardamom.
Cardamom, yes, dear.
And when you did the it was a green one.
Green tea, yes.
Yeah, it made you all giddy and like a high feeling, not high, but like elevation of energies. And I like seeing how they make you feel. Makes me feel the. I like it when I can share. It's the sharing is the nice thing.
Well, I never heard anyone.
make an insight check for me. You're doing very well on those.
Okay, we got a nat 1.
Oh, you are puzzled because it seems like there's like maybe like some water. Like, is Timmons like, did you upset him somehow? Like, it seems like maybe you said something really personal and you might not know exactly what it is, but Timmons is acting kind of strange. Like, usually he's sort of austere and can be kind of, as much as he's been willing to help, he's very critical. Like, he's not a particularly like friendly person, and you do not recognize the like flavor of Timmons right now. Essentially, it's wetter than usual. It's like, it's not the tea drinking flavor. Like, it's just kind of odd.
Did I have do I need to shake your hand? That made my friend ink. No, then they sounded like a tea kettle.
No. I simply, it is unusual. Not many people have recognized.
And there's a kind of a quietness, this sense of what you recognize is you recognize someone not knowing what to say, not knowing how to describe. As you often are searching for the right word, you're often trying to pull it out of nowhere. You're like, oh, this person is also doing me. They're doing me. They are looking for the word that is the right word to say.
It is not very often that what I have to say, do you feel sometimes that someone can speak to you for a very long time and not know who you are.
I feel that all the time. There's a weird thing where I know what you see in your head or words I can turn into. Or memories even. I've even turned into like the memories. But I never know how I am coming off. I guess, 'cause I'll turn into what someone says, and then I'm not what they say, and they get angry, or they get really sad, and people have cried, and I don't understand that. I was just being what they wanted, or if they see what I turn into, and then it makes them think that like I could hurt them, or they run, and that even when I talk, there's that disconnect of I'm not being heard, so I try to do what they are feeling, but not in, you said this word, literally. Because if I'm an idea, those are
And like they kind of become this little, like as they've been talking, their form has been shrinking a little to not unlike something made out of a polymer white clay. And like they're kind of just a little panic flapping of their little limb things as they're struggling to figuring out what they're trying to say. And the word is evading them, but it is akin to acceptance.
I think for the first time as you're like transforming in front of him, you don't see Timon's sort of distaste with it. There's something, as you speak this out loud, this very vulnerable thing that many people wouldn't say out loud. You're smaller as you shrink on this sort of, like stool at the counter of where he's been serving you. He sort of leans against the counter a little in a way that is a little less decorous than he usually carries himself.
Elbows on the counter.
No, not that far. Like, that's too much. We would not do that. But, just sort of forearms on the counter. Perhaps worse. And he says,
Mims, what you describe is... the way that you are is quite different from maybe people, but I'd believe that what you describe, the feeling that is inside you when you change, literally, I do think that is perhaps a more common feeling than you might realize.
So more people want they want to be like when I'm a gold coin. No, there's never, people are always really happy about that until they find out you're not a gold coin. But that's common, of wanting to be seen as shiny.
We all have our own version of shiny, Mims. For me, it is this job. It's the way I keep myself, the way I dress myself, the way I comport myself, the ways I am proud of in how I see myself, but perhaps the people that I want to come into this shop also value those same things. They want to value a sense of style and a sense of admiration for certain qualities, and one comports themselves in a way to bring others who comport themselves in a similar way to them. In a way, we are perhaps all sort of mimic, if you will. And Mims, I truly believe this. If you want to bring the people that we want to us, the only thing we can do is to be the best version of ourselves. That is all.
I think that I would say that makes sense. as makes sense to me.
He holds out his hand again to give you a handshake.
What is it still like soft? Is it like what's
It is definitely closer to, it kind of looks like it's porcelain, like he's trying to make it look like tea.
yeah.
Vibes of like, this is a pretty thing, so it fits in your shop. But it still looks like he's made out of like a child's clay squiggle person.
Yeah. I think there's a little, like a slight uneasiness, and then Timmons reaches out and shakes your porcelain hand, and then very much like gives it a good shake and lets go, kind of. Like it's not rude, but it's not overly affectionate.
Thanks. For T2, I pay.
And like it just leaves. We don't know where Mims gets a lot of this money. And that's perfectly fine. But like Mims just leaves too much on the counter because they don't know other ways of saying a lot of thank yous.
And Timmons doesn't say anything about it.
I have, at my show, see you at my show. If it fits how you want to be around people. No. If it is a place of people that you want to attract, that.
There's like, you see on this man's face both that there's a very kind of, despite my accent, there's a very British response happening of a person who's like, this is very sweet, and also I don't really want to or leave my house. And it's just sort of like...
Whatever happens, my dear, I hope that you have a very successful show.
And you have successful teas.
Thank you very much, dear.
And Mims like rolls out, not leaving any trail, mind you. I want to make that clear. They're very clean. So it just kind of rolls out, and it's thinking of inviting people that they're thinking who would invite.
Yeah.
And so the first person in their brain of this is someone that is very selective of their people, but also kind of welcomes a lot of people, is Juniper.
Juniper is elusive. How do you try to get a hold of Juniper?
I would think their first thought was kind of just ringing a line.
Yeah.
Of some sort, because Juniper did have worries
Yeah.
about Mims, even if Mims gave the impression of being a very lovable sort of monster. There's still the qualifier there, so I feel as though perhaps Mims gets followed pretty routinely, or they have a almost direct line to one of the underlings. But Mims has in fact worked in some of the, I guess Juniper isn't considered underworld. They're more of like upper world.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Mims also, when still finding themselves, worked in the underworld on a very different level because they have some capabilities.
Oh, yeah, 100%. They've found themselves. Listen, when you are completely new to a city, have no references, no identity except ate a lot of adventures, like that's your resume. You know, you got to do what you can. So you think of a few people right off the bat. You think of obviously Tio, and Tio usually knows how to get a hold of Juniper. You do know that Tio also gave you a crystal. Whether or not you use it often is your prerogative. And there's not really a number for Juniper. There's no way to trace Juniper, but you also know that there's like one box, one thing that if you text to Juniper, Juniper always seems to know that you're there. You used to go down sometimes to the port and plug. You knew Maeve there, and Maeve was the one who introduced you. Well, introduced is a strong word. Maeve may have told you to talk to some of the patrons in the port and plug, because, you know, they might get up to stuff that might need a kind of, you know, someone who could change the things, which is how you ended up meeting a tabaxi named Born Early and Lucky, who had given you a few jobs before and was delighted by your ability to imitate inanimate objects. And you also know, I mean, you kind of got some like contacts all over, but I'd say, another place that you have been is once you had a little bit more like unlicensed adventures under your belt, you'd also occasionally gone up to the Adventurers Guild and Hephaestus Hall and talked to Roxanne Espinoza up there, who she and her sister Esther, they work there and they hand out missions for different adventurers of different levels. You've also been up to Hephaestus Hall for slightly more formal reasons. You had a couple times where there were, it's hard to say a legal case or something like that, but you've talked about the protests before, and the protests upset Juniper very much. Juniper was very disdainful of anyone talking about monsters and monsters should and should not. And it was very easy for Juniper to get rid of those people. The part that was stickier were the people who had lost loved ones in the maw. And for all they knew, you could be the one responsible for that. There's been a woman, an older woman, who has often been outside of your studio. Her younger son, it was one of his first adventures, went down to the maw, didn't come back. She doesn't know if you did it or not, but it's something that she cannot get out of her head, it seems. And you actually did have to go to Hephaestus Hall to like speak to officials, and they had to essentially ask her to cease and desist. Like, unless she had proof that you were the person who ate her son, she had to cease and desist. And that was there's the taste of fear, and there's the taste of the things left unsaid. You've tasted a lot of that before, that feeling from people. But whatever this deep grief that this person felt is something that you have only ever tasted once or twice before, this deep sense of loss. Usually there wasn't time in a situation where a mimic attacks for that to be something that you were familiar with.
I'd say Mims, like, he doesn't necessarily like fear her coming around, because it knows what happened. Because there was a very significant point in Mim's life where it was still several years ago, but there was a young adventuring party, and Mims unfortunately put an end to it. And Mims can't remember specifically if this was this woman's son or not, but there's a deep guilt that they always feel, just looking at children in general, but anyone that's a parent has always made them recall this feeling of heaviness. It's like the type that feels really deep in your gut. But Mims almost welcomes her anytime she comes, because he wants to show her that there's goodness in him, but also regret. Like, regret is something that Mims lives with constantly, of I shouldn't have been this way, but I was this way. I couldn't help being that way. I'm never going to be that way again. Please know that.
Yeah.
But also I'm never going to be the person to tell you where to go. Because it was at Juniper's behest that Mims got a cease and desist. And Mims was very confused as to why they had to do it. And someone had said something about Mims's safety or like well-being, and that just confused them, because they know that if anyone's in the wrong, it was Mims at that point.
And it's interesting too, because when you talk about that grief and that depth of sorrow, one of the few people you have felt that around is Juniper. So for Juniper to have gone out of their way to make sure this person can't be around you is probably confusing and odd to you, as you're like, you guys are both cheddar flavored is the fucked up way to describe grief. So Mims feeling, a little disconnected. Where do you think they go to try to What does art look like? What do I art? What does artist me look like?
I think since they weren't able to, as of yet, get a hold of Juniper, I think they have in their mind Juniper just appears when needed.
Yeah.
And so, like, they're really, really thinking about it. They're just like, maybe that will work. But while they're thinking about it, they're like, I'm going to go to another figure of authority. The complete opposite, if you will.
Absolutely.
They're going to Born Early and Lucky, because that's another person where they're like, oh, you know what you're doing. You have authority. You've told me what to do before, and things seem to go well-ish.
Incredible. Born Early and Lucky is what in the cyberpunk world you would call a fixer. Somebody who is good at, not the one who directly wants the things that he puts into place, but in some way benefits from connecting people to each other to get jobs done that perhaps would be frowned upon within the Adventurers Guild. How does Mims get down to the Undercity?
I feel as though early on, when they were doing some extracurricular activities, if you will,
Yeah.
they got kind of familiar with navigating the sewer system. It's fast, it's efficient, and it's not like they can pick up a smell because they can just kind of blip it off of themselves. So it would take that route, like, I'm going to be a goldfish for a little bit. And low-key, it is, when you have a stacked city, your sewer system is going to have stacks in it and a lot of water slide equivalent things.
Yeah. So essentially, water slides down the city through the sewers as a goldfish.
If anyone's listening to their toilet, you hear like a wah, giggles of happiness.
Incredible. It's like those kids who are like, Mom, did my fish really go to heaven? And it's like, yes, you can hear him in the pipes right now. Listen. Mims emerges in what you would call the vents of the Undercity. These are these series of tunnels and areas on the lowest end. The vents are essentially where, when people travel down to the maw, the vents are the fastest way to get down there. And you exited a place at a vents pretty much right where the vents and the veins meet. The veins are much more of the busy Venice tight alleys and cities and circuitry board of a Undercity that is where you would find the port and the plug, and you would find the places therein. As you pop up from the sewer, what do you look like?
Green.
Green.
That was the first thought, was just green. Mm-hmm. Probably
Ninja Turtle. Just kidding.
Fuck it, we'll go with it. They go kind of turtley. Like whatever that tortoise race is, but if it had a child with a goblin.
Horrifying. Incredible. Turtle goblin hybrid.
Mm-hmm. And they are wearing clothes, just so we're clear.
But they're not wet.
They're not wet.
They don't have to be. As you crawl out from this sewer, so crazy. You see there's a hobgoblin guy on the corner. He's got like a cart. As he sees you,
sausages! Get your sausages here! Hey you, sewer fella! Need a sausage?
Are they sweet?
And he sniffs at this like great array of sausages.
You've had pineapple before.
I've had a pineapple tart. I've had a pineapple tea. I haven't had a pineapple. They sound like they look weird.
They're very hard to find. I got these special in last week.
Mims leans in way too closely. Like it looks like, if someone didn't know, it looks like Mims is like about to kiss this one, but they're just very excited. They're like,
hey, Phil. Here you go. Check them out.
What do you have?
And he pulls up, it's like a very, it's a large pink sausage. He says,
chicken and pineapple. I won't tell you where I got it, but it's supposed to be one of the best.
I won't ask. That's stupid.
Hey, look at you. A wise young person. That'll be 5 kappa, but hey, for you, an enterprising young being such as yourself, I'll make you a deal. Give me a silver, and I'll give you 3.
Sure.
And they just place a gold in this guy's hand.
His eyes get like a little bit wide, and he.
Oh, okay. Well, you said you like sweets, sir?
Well, food is good. If it's not, sad or mad. Mad tastes weird. It's like, I like it.
You know, between you and me, I'd hazard a guess that these little guys ain't got no feelings at all.
Weird. Okay.
And he just kind of like turns his hands into a bag sort of thing.
He kind of gives you a look, and he puts sweet relish on one of them for you.
Try this on for size. Let me know what you think.
It slurps it like spaghetti. He gets like, his cheeks kind of get a little dazzle in them. Like really excited, boiling glitter almost.
Oh, that was delightful. You're wonderful. Thank you.
Oh.
He holds out his other hand to shake.
He's got one hand with the relish and one hand with all the sausages, and he sort of relishes the sausages, puts the relish down, takes your hand.
It is an amazingly firm handshake.
And Baird is large, so like the firm handshake is also on a claw hand that's maybe like twice as big as Mims is right now.
This is a pretty good handshake you got there.
And he hands you the other 2 hot dogs.
I ain't seen you around these parts. You come around the Undercity often?
Yeah, I always look not this.
I see.
I do art. I have a show tonight. You should go. You're nice. Friend, yes. Here!
Pulls out another one. But Mims has kind of gotten from the 2 reactions so far. It should be dry. So it is dry, but like it's almost a piece of stone at this point. It's like too far on.
It's very stiff. What is? He takes it kind of like drops his hand a little. What does it look like? What does the flyer actually say, or does it just say good? Like, is it like got the place listed? Like, what's the?
It has the place listed and drawn.
Incredible.
It says good art in colors.
Love it.
And it has the address. It has the approximate time.
Like sun goes down. Like it's not like 6. It's like when the sun is down.
Yeah. And it has a big little thank you, you're welcome. I did things.
He looks at it and kind of like bemused. Like I mean,
and
more
feel a lot.
Feel a lot. Incredible. Bemused is the wrong word. Amused. Looks at it amused. Sort of.
Well, you know, it is after the sun goes down. That's my favorite time to be out and about.
Not mine.
No, we all different strokes, you know. Good, so it's good, like you said, huh? A lot of feelings and whatnot.
Yeah, basically.
Very interesting. I ain't never considered myself much of an art man, but you seem like a nice young person, and I ain't taking my car to the upper city for a while. Might be a nice chance to. It is your show happen to need food at it?
Yes, sure. Food good. If you can't taste, I taste my art, but you, I've been told, cannot. So to have these good tastes would be so good. You're a nice fella, too.
Well, thank you very much.
And like, there's just this kind of like, this is so much information, kind of like.
You know, well, I'll try to make it. You know, like I said, I do better when the sun goes down. It's a little better for my eyes, you know. It's hard to see when things get too bright out for someone like me. But this might be a good way to see some art. Your fans can get some good food. Everyone can taste something. Does it sound good to you? Huh?
Yeah, and everyone should taste these.
He slurps another sauce.
And just the way that you kind of spaghetti eat them, there's like this like.
Hey, slow down there, kid. You ain't gonna choke, are you? You can taste it all when you eat it like that.
Oh, I can taste it all. All goes down and in and around, and I taste it all.
Oh, well, thank you.
And he kind of sets the flyer down on his cart, and it kind of goes.
I got some regulars that come around, you know. I don't know if you know. It's such a big city, but you probably don't know him. But there's a little fellow. Built the music box on my cot. Good kid. He set something up for me that when I'm in different places, people know where the cot is. Cause a restaurant, it's always in one place, but a cot, I'm not always in the same place. I bop around the city, I got my route.
Gets vigorous nodding.
And the route, it makes sense. It's almost the same every day. So I don't know why someone needs to know where I am at any point, but the point is, he's a good kid. And he made a good point. If I'm somewhere different, then people can know that, Maybe I could set that up, And then people would know where to find me in the upper city. And if I'm near your show, maybe this could be one of them, mutually beneficial arrangements and whatnot,
Sure.
He talks with his hands a lot. He's still got like the relish in one of his hands, and sometimes as he kind of like moves, the relish squirts a little bit, kind of like he's like very.
Mims starts like not pantomiming exactly, but that would be good. Just very hands, like starts mimicking the I'm gonna talk with my hands now because that appears to be the way to talk here.
Yeah.
He's like, yes, this is good, and I like more people happy. You make people happy, and I have a friend that also made a box for me. So I understand that too. That'd be good. Yeah. Get friends. Friends.
Yeah,
more of.
friends, yeah.
And you see, like, he is now kind of like in business. Like, he is like now like, there's a business plan. I have a business plan. And is sort of like, I don't want to say not interested in the conversation, but like the important part of the conversation has happened for him. And he's already like busying himself with like,
Oh, I might have a busy night.
this is like also now his event.
Mims is just kind of overjoyed at this and like almost looks as though he's the sound waves of the way that this guy talks, like very up and down and like and he uses that as like a bounce to his walk and says, okay, bye.
Yeah, sure. Okay, bye.
And he's like, you can see he's already like in his crystal, like figuring stuff out. You head into the port and plug. You walk in, do you think that Mims' show is in a weekday or a weekend?
Probably a weekend, like a Saturday-esque sort of thing.
It's busier in here than it would be on a weekday in the middle of the afternoon because there's still always going to be the people who show up at noon because they need a drink. There are going to be people who are slept all day and it's the very end of the night for them, essentially. They're getting a drink now. But for the most part, it's pretty quiet. You see Maeve, Thread Twister, the Goliath woman behind the bar making drinks. She sort of like acknowledges you in a way of like not familiar because doesn't immediately recognize you, but and there's a little like kobold kid running around like taking orders and stuff, but it's not, like I said, busier than a weekday afternoon, but it's pretty quiet right now. There's no like rave going on. There's no kind of party scene happening.
Mims definitely, upon not getting the hello that they've possibly gotten beforehand, kind of just squashes and stretches once more to look not unlike like a pottery toy.
Yeah.
Those like really long ones, or the finger snakes.
Yes.
Like kind of like that.
Horrible. Okay.
Absolutely horrible. And like patterned just a little too weird, but it somehow matches the lighting.
Yeah.
There's a certain level of aesthetic that matches the port and plug because they have been here quite a few times.
Yeah.
But it looks like if a child were to be given the right colors and patterns, but then just kind of played with it.
And I think the specific way that you turn is the indicator to Maeve. I know this person.
Oh, it's our Mimsy here again, isn't it? Mims. How are you this fine? Well, not evening. You're here a little early.
Friend of maid. I've been getting prepared. That sounds weird. I was doing
these, and again, not knowing, but also they're talking over a crowd. of
Yeah.
people. Like, they're still basically in the doorway, so they're kind of loud at this point. I've been getting these. And they just kind of pull out a whole stack of, now they're pamphlets for some reason, instead of flyers for their show. And they're like, I can give them to all of you. All of us are friends in a way or not.
Mims, hon, come over here.
Mims goobers over and like places the pamphlets, and if anyone just happened to look at them while they were just walking over, they handed them out. I have an art show.
Oh, your art show. Yes. The colors, the taste colors, but 2D, that's the...
It's good.
Yes! Good feelings. Lots of feelings. Dear, I'm so sorry. I can't make it tonight. Because the club, you know? I can't get off. But I'll keep them here. Feel free to pass them around to any of these sad sacks here, because they should be finding something better to do than drinking in the middle of the afternoon. I don't know how late you're gonna be open, but you know how it gets in here. Folks have a couple drinks and want to experience something. So we'll send them your way.
I don't know if Mims actually considered that the show would close, because Mims doesn't really sleep unless they've eaten a particularly large amount of food. And I don't think they listed a closing time either.
Incredible.
I think Mims had just been planning on essentially becoming part of the art, so people could just come and go as they please, and they'd be there as performance art almost, but also this is my art. I am not guest, I am speaker. So
Yeah, of course. And I can give you art after.
You know we'd love to see it, Mims. I've heard nothing but good things.
You've heard things.
Yes, of course. I've heard lots. Lots and lots of things.
Wow.
they're just kind of like, I don't know how to take that.
You can
That's
make
cool.
an insight. You can make an insight check if you want.
Yeah, definitely. All right, that's a 16.
Maeve has probably not heard from anybody but you, but they've heard good things, and if they are not being genuine in this moment, it is with a good intention to make you feel good. You're essentially getting on a 16. I don't know who they would have heard it from, but that's nice.
I feel as though that's not something that Mims would question. They're just like, wow.
I'm famous? Oh, that doesn't sound right.
Famous is as famous does. What brings you in today, Mims?
Oh, I was looking for...
And they like, their head just unnaturally spins, looking around the entire port and plug to see if they see any sign of Born Early and Lucky. And if not, I'm sure that they also would be able to kind of like spot if there's anyone that would help them.
You see the little kobold Eddie. He's like a little nervous kobold kid. Eddie kind of like leads you up to the stairs. There's like a sort of VIP section where, you know, when it's more ravey, they have it roped off and people drink there, and there's some private rooms. They're not supposed to be used for illicit purposes. There's nothing that Maeve offers that would require a private room, but there is good coin for being a bar that has quiet places to talk. Eddie takes you down to the second to last sort of booth and kind of tips aside the curtain.
Hey, boss.
And Mims just like walks in.
Born Early and Lucky was sort of curled up a little like a cat, and immediately upon seeing you, at like he's a tabaxi, a little on the smaller side for tabaxi, like a bigger than a child, smaller than a most adults, sort of. This kind of gray and black tabby coat, little set of spectacles that he had sitting on the table in front of him, sort of snatches them up, is adjusting he has like a nicely tailored little like vest.
Eddie, I was in the middle of a nap, mate. Not the time to come bursting in.
I burst, he didn't.
Oh, hello, Mims.
Can Mims recall what like is the preferred form that Born Early and Lucky usually has when looking at Mims?
I would say the form that you actually would know is closer to his heart would be kind of like a elderly cat, but you also know every time you turn into that, like, he's a little uncomfortable, but he's nicer to you.
Mims turns into one of their favorite cats that they've seen wandering around. Like, so it's an actual cat that's been wandering around, definitely in the Undercity. There's a good chance that they've been seen before, but instead of like the face being the right coloration, it has, again, that little marbling effect because Mims seems to really like this swirl of colors that can happen.
But still like a cat's face?
Oh yeah, still just a cat. Maybe closer to like a Ghibli cat, like if it was a real life drawn cat.
There's something immediately, like as you sort of transform into a full cat rather than a tabaxi, like make an insight check for me.
Come on, Dice, be on my side. I want this interaction to go well. Oh, shit. That's a 3.
3. You can't read very well what Born Early is thinking. He just sort of straightens up a little bit, just trying to make himself look a little more like, almost like he was embarrassed being caught catnapping, if you will.
Well, well. What drags you in? I haven't have a job for you after the last fiasco. But everyone got paid, so I suppose it's neither here nor there.
It's not here. We are here.
Well, you can't argue with that.
No, I came because of friendship, and when you want people that you like to come around the places that you, what's the word?
And he kind of like bubbles a little bit.
I want to comport my exhibition to the people that I want to be like, no, have around like me.
He kind of just fumbles over his words for a solid second before going,
but friends, we're friends. So I thought of you and here.
And hands him, now it is not a pamphlet. It is... He can't make up his mind because he left the stack of pamphlets like partially on the floor, partially on the bar.
Yeah.
But now it looks like if you were to put a signet on a child's letter.
Mims, that's all fine and well, but we ain't really friends, is we?
Oh, we are.
We have a business relationship.
Just blank stares.
Sure. Is that not?
Mims, when you're here, and time is passing, as it is in this long moment, I'm usually paying you to be here.
Right.
Mims immediately just a stack of coins.
Mims, you just pulled money from yourself. I didn't know you could do that.
Oh, that's not normal.
Are you trying to hire me, Mims? How many friends do you need?
I was around you, for friendship, but you paid, so it's the same, right? If you want to bring more people, then that's fine. But I'd like to, have those who I've been most around see what I've made. But you, have to is not right. But you can keep all of this, 'cause you've paid me, so I can pay you.
Mims, I'm so fucking confused. I don't like being in debt to people, and I don't take loans. Please, hold on to your money until you know what you're asking for.
Just both paws like biscuits on it, but just shoving stacks.
As you're like biscuit pausing with the... Give me another insight check here.
That's a 16 again.
You are right now impersonating a baby while giving him money. Like, it's a very confusing dynamic. You've essentially been like, Daddy, do you want to come see my show? Here's some money. Like, it is crazy. Like, you are about the size of like a tabaxi kitten, right? And you are a cat, and you are pushing a stack of money toward him, and he's like,
Keep your money, Mims. What are you playing at? Did Juniper send you? Is this some side attempt at a power play?
Juniper hasn't answered my calls today.
You called Juniper?
We're friends.
Oh dear God, good Lord.
Everyone's so... When they're not being helpful, they're not helpful. But when they are being helpful, they're super, super helpful. and I wanted to show the appreciation I have and all the feelings that everyone's given me and shown me, and I just wanted to share in the feelings that I can give to all of you.
He's rubbing his paws on his temples, like,
Wait, did you put feelings for me in the painting? In the art?
Some of them.
Okay.
I've painted my feelings about everywhere. And there are also feelings for everyone, because everyone can't taste them, so I figured I could make them so that you could see with your eyes.
Tell me, Mims, tell me, what do the feelings I'm feeling right now taste like to you? Can you explain that in a way I might understand?
There's this thing when when they realize how many teeth you've chosen to have, and there isn't another support behind them, and their weapons are away and a little out of reach, and they know that there is something bad in front of them, but they also know that if they were to cast what they started casting, they could get out, but the other party member wouldn't, and it tastes gray.
Well, that was profoundly unhelpful, Mims. Sweet small Mims.
I'm sorry, boiling water that doesn't have somewhere to get out.
You have the unparalleled ability to make me uncomfortable. With most people, I know what to say, what to show, and what to hide, but with you, with the teeth are shown too large, your response is beyond my anticipation. Your unfamiliar mind unsettles me, Mims. So, what are you going to wear tonight, Mims? What whims does drive Mims?
Mims immediately tries to take on, because he thought that it got a positive response earlier, not necessarily from Born Early and Lucky, but he becomes another sort of clay thing.
No, that's not better. That is so much worse.
And he kind of stops mid-transformation. Can I do an insight check of what Born Early and Lucky is thinking is a normal thing?
oh my god. See, the problem is you're getting surface level. And the surface level is I want my mom. Why is my nightmare here? My nightmare is here. It's comfort. It's the want right now. It's usually it's wealth. Right now it's soft comfort thing that not scary, not slimy, and not, it's very
I think Mims returns to kind of the soft, round, Kirby-esque thing once again of the texture of those super stupidly plush yarns. And
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Turns into that little ball and has a tiny, very cute face, the two large eyes, and little mitten paws.
Mim's eyes had been slit pupils get big. The pupils go big. He's gonna bat you off the counter.
Much better. Thank you. Good choice. Okay. Time to go. Such an illuminating conversation. Your money is in good hands.
There will be sausages. Bye.
Yes, sausages. That's exactly what I'm in the mood for now.
And he shuts the thing behind you, and you're just out in...
Mims just rolls out, bounces down the stairs.
Maeve takes one look at you looking like that and busts out laughing.
Oh, did he want to play? Did dear old Born Early want to play? Fed you around like a little kitten?
No, but he did say control himself.
That sounds about right. Mims, I'm never gonna get tired of you. You are absolutely a delight. I won't see you later, but break a leg. Also, by the way, break a leg does not literally mean to break a leg. Yours or anyone else's. It means good luck.
Okay.
No, it's better luck to say break a leg when somebody's show is opening. So break a leg.
Break a leg to you.
And rolls out.
Outside of the port and plug, there is a child.
Hello.
Mims.
It takes Mims a moment, and then Mims is like, tree!
Mims, we did talk about not going to see Born Early and Lucky so much without talking to me about it. Because they can be mean sometimes, right?
You can too.
I can to what? Me? Be mean? I don't think I'm very mean when I'm like this. You might be talking to Tio too much.
Tio only says a lot of good things like that.
And Mims immediately started mimicking. Just too much.
Oh, do you need money? Because we talked about this. I can give you some money if you need.
I have so many coins, and today I got something on the house. It wasn't on a house, but it was on the house for me.
What, did they want something for you? Did they ask for anything? I guess they didn't if they wanted it on the house.
No, they gave me sugar.
Oh.
Sugar rocks.
That's nice.
It was so good. I don't have any more. I'm sorry. I would have given you one.
Well, that's okay. I can get lots of sugar when I want to. But it's really nice that you would offer it to me. But in the future, you shouldn't offer me anything like that without being really careful. Laurel says it's really important that sometimes I tell people who aren't Fae about Fae rules because it's not nice to do and people get stuck in promises that they don't want to keep. And Tio says it's not nice. So I'm trying to be better at it. But sometimes you got to do what you got to do to keep everybody safe, you know? And I just want to keep you safe. And I'm not trying to be bad. And I'm not trying to be controlling, but I did hear somebody say that you were going to go to the port and plug. And that's fine, but Born Early and Lucky can be really bad sometimes, and I just don't want you to get in trouble with the wrong people.
Oh, they're always so nice. Everyone has the ability to be bad. I've been bad. I can be bad. I don't want to be bad. I'm not bad anymore. I promise. And that's the whole point. I'm good. And you know about my show, but I was hoping that you would come to it because I have you'd understand of the if you're trying to do good things with good intentions, then you can sometimes come off in different ways than you intend, and people will interpret things differently. But that's what I was shown is one of the nice things about art is it can be up for interpretation, but sometimes your meaning can still come through, and I can make people feel things like I feel them. So I wanted to not make you feel things, but you can feel things if you want to. But I wanted to share that with you.
As you kind of look away and look back, there's no longer a child standing in front of you. You see Juniper is like at your height, like they're kind of squatted to at your height with their fingers kind of steepled in front of them like this.
I think that is a lovely sentiment, and I would very much like to see the thing that you've created, because creations are powerful. They're like names. They're very powerful.
I can create names?
Yes, I am not entirely sure that my presence at such a place would be welcome, but perhaps I could at the very least escort you. It must be very close to the time for your show, is it not?
Probably. Are the lights on yet?
Just about.
Yeah, I gotta go. We gotta go. Yeah, you don't have to. But it would be nice, and I think not being welcome's stupid. I mean, understandable. I understand I'm not welcome a lot of places, and I just have to deal with that.
Are there places that have been making you feel unwelcome, Mims?
No, just I can taste when it's not necessarily what people need to be around at that point. And I think when you have to feel like you can't go somewhere, but you are the one that you know that you're a safe person, then I have decided that my art show is a place that everyone is welcome. So you're welcome there, and I'm in charge, so no one can say you're not welcome there.
You will learn, Mims.
And they kind of start walking with you, you know, and as the lights in the Undercity are always sort of on these Venetian style, like strings of lights, the lichen of this growth on the wall, this bioluminescent mushrooms that grow that kind of essentially direct you starting toward moving upwards toward the upper city.
Perhaps it will not surprise you to find that I am not much like many of my brethren, a creature of light and sunlight and growth and flowers. It's not particularly my cup of tea, nor has it ever been. And yet, it has a place, an important one, and it always has, and I will always respect it as such. Until a time came when to be outside one's station, outside one's circle, was seen as dangerous. Long ago, I came to this city with the intention of making sure that no one, not one of my people, would ever feel as such here. Mortals are... They discuss the Fae as though we're riddles to be solved, and perhaps we are, but mortals have no rules. There are rules to how you behave in the Fae. There are gifts to be offered and to be accepted, things that are never offered and things that are never trusted, and things that are promised only, but only if it is a true promise. And mortals, they say they promise, and they say names like they're nothing, like it means nothing. Words don't matter the same way, and I do hate to see their fickleness be taken so lightly by someone who understands that words have meaning.
Not gonna lie, Mims was like, I can't tell if you're talking about yourself or me or someone else right now. So Mims is just kind of like bouncing along. But when Juniper stops talking, they're like,
Actions, I think, are ones that are like words too, of people take them lightly or too heavily, because there's that qualifier of this is that is this, where when you put things into a category, you can't escape them, and so it's better to not put them in that. And once you do, of mortals, immortals, man, monster, elf, goblin, all those things, they're just unnecessary, because we're all things. I'm a thing, you're a thing. Both of us happen to be able to turn into lots of things, and a lot of other people can't turn into a lot of other things, and that's kind of, well, lame. But you know that. But I think, I don't know. Do you want a sausage?
Yes, Mims, I would like a sausage very much.
Gives you a sausage.
Takes the sausage, kind of looks at it, and there is something about, like, if you are given food by a Fae, then you eat it and you kind of have to be with where they are forever. And so there's like something like a little suspicious, but I kind of feel as though there's something like they kind of like stretch their arm out and a like mouth opens on their arm and they sort of feed it to the arm mouth instead of like eating it through their face mouth in a way that's just sort of like, yeah, that's how I feel like the best way to handle this right now is like.
Mims is slurping down another one and looks over.
Like, this is more casual, right?
Yeah. Mims looks over, sees it, also gets an arm mouth,
an arm mouth full of like needle sharp teeth that's just like horrific. And you two walk together and you notice that as you walk through different neighborhoods, Juniper will sort of adjust their size or age or gender look to not reflect what other people want from them. They are trying to draw attention away from you or give like scary dog energy or, you know, like, oh, look, I'm just a kid in my ball of yarn. Like, essentially, they are adapting for safety. They are adapting to bring as little attention to you as possible. And if they can't do that, then give as fuck off, don't interact with me energy as much as possible, you know? And they're not quite as versatile as you. They are usually still Juniper. They are some level and age and gender of Juniper. They are the kind of humanoid mostly. but something a little bit off. They have not gone like full unseelie court, because they've learned a long time ago that that's not appropriate for most occasions, you know? But they're definitely like, you know, whatever energy that they need to match you at to kind of make wherever you guys are look normal, they're very easily adapting to your adaptation, which is kind of probably odd to have somebody matching to your needs instead of the other way around.
At first, they're not really taking as much notice of it because they're just like, oh, they're just feeling what other people are feeling. And then when they realize it's like you're adjusting to me, which they might not totally comprehend because Mims is also still busy of like being this reflection of whoever's having the strongest desire around them, but they're trying consciously, now that like it's been pointed out almost by Juniper's behavior, they're trying consciously to not be anything concrete. And so like multiple motes of light almost of like, I'm just a little twinkle in the sky right now. Everything's so cool.
Yeah.
But as they get closer to their art show, I think Mimic pauses and looks over at Juniper, however formed they are, and they say,
what should I look like? I haven't known all day what I should be, and you're not being, I'm confused.
What is it that you hope to achieve in your look tonight?
I don't know. I think if I can make as many people feel, if I can make everyone feel something positive, but if it's negative, it's in positive building way of it can root in darkness. Like I'm rooted in darkness. I've done well. The bad things, but it turned positive. I've turned good. Like my show, it's good, and I just want people to see that and not run or taste bad or I don't know.
Well, when I don't want people to be afraid of me, I look like a child. I look like something sort of helpless that isn't going to hurt them. But I've been told as of late that perhaps that one can be more disconcerting. I don't know how much help I can be to you here because I prefer to look like whatever will serve me in that given situation. And I don't make art, so I don't know what art should look like.
What if I don't have to? Maybe it's because sometimes when I was changing, people feel better or worse, so I could what if I just do that? I keep doing that. I don't have to maybe change for everyone. I think that'd be gross. That'd be really gross, Juniper.
What are you going to do?
No. Like if I were to turn into something that everyone wants, it would be like, well, it wouldn't look good. It would look gross.
That sounds like it would be absolutely horrific. That does not sound like it would be pleasant.
I think I just like this one and turns into another like drawing clay-esque thing. I think this is where they've been leaning of just looking like a blank canvas. And like when Juniper would notice, like when other people are looking at this transformation, anytime someone's eyes hit on a spot on their body, like different colors kind of marble through it, but it's not changing the entire appearance of this moldable little goober.
As you are you're just getting to the art center, you hear a little voice.
Oh, hello there. Hello, Juniper.
And Juniper's sort of like,
I am going to, I'm gonna go inside and look at your art and try to have a feeling.
And kind of like lets themselves in, like, and Tio sort of like, his tail's a little prickly as he approaches you.
Hey, You got your art show going. That looks nice.
Yeah, I gave you. Wait, no, these are new.
And pulls out, and now it's just like a business card that says good art show.
Oh, this is nice. I mean, I'm already here, but is it alright if I keep it?
Please.
It's quite clever. The way you made it here, the color change at the bottom is really quite clever.
Thanks. Do you want to see the art I made of you?
You made art of me?
Everyone has art.
And like, I think Tio is someone Mims is very comfortable with. Like, I'm gonna touch you if I'm gonna touch you. We have this kind of agreement. You literally made my house.
Yeah.
So like Mims with this weird claymation-esque hands just grabs Tio's paw and pulls into the art show, where it is not set up like a gallery. So the base of the walls, the floor, the ceiling, literally every surface is painted, and then mounted on these already painted surfaces are thousands of very small miniature paintings. And every single one of them is very neatly labeled. It looks like they probably got help from Nat labeling, of like, just because their handwriting definitely looks like webdings or wingdings. But like in very neat handwriting over their labels is the name of every single person that they've encountered so far in the city. And Mims has just grabbed Tio's hand and pulled them through to the very center of the hall, where on the floor there's another painting, and this one says Tio on it, and it is like these splashes of green kind of outlined with gold lining, and then almost a sad looking silver mist on the corners, and then just a bunch of like sweet looking scribbles in the same color of blackberries, like just kind of looping around it, coming out and over the silver gray. And then in the center is just a little yellow dot. And Mims looks up at Tio
and it's like, this one's for you. I did one for everyone, but you're in the center because you are the one that made my home here.
And like, with too many arms, just gestures to the entire exhibition hall.
Tio just kind of, again, looks around agape at everything and looks back at the installment on the floor, and he'll kind of kneel down and put his little hands on the floor, and this is lovely.
I'm so happy it's good. Like my show's name.
What does Tio's feelings taste like to Mims? Mims can kind of feel the emotions, and what is, like, both actually emotionally and like flavor-wise, what do Tio's feelings taste like right now?
I think Tio would be feeling a sense of, first off, astonishment at looking at this kind of installation, but also feeling no small amount of pride in his friend that he's helped get settled in this area, and it's like, yeah, I know this person. This is very, very, well, good. And it would taste, I guess, if Mims is taking a taste from emotions, a taste from around them, I guess what Tio's feeling would taste like, probably a cinnamon sugar. A very sweet, like almost, well, like a swirl. Like it's a sweet swirl of cinnamon and sugar. Just this looking around, seeing all the arts, all the labels, seeing that obviously we brought Nat in to write down and stuff.
Nat's is very close to Tio's. They're like a couple right in the center that are all positioned. Tio's is basically front and center, and then right next to it is Nat's, and there's a couple others. One is Vusro, actually, and then someone that neither of you have heard of, but is probably the woman that they had to get a cease and desist of. it's definitely hers is around there. Like all the people most important and impactful for Mims are like Juniper is there right next to Born Early and Lucky.
He'll just look around at all of these, probably will recognize at least the colors and feelings of Juniper's, and he'll again kind of kneel down and just scrape a little peat on it and just,
This is amazing.
Everyone's amazing. It's sweet. Like, it's sugar. It's so good. And everyone has that.
And Mims is like blobbing next to Tio right now, just like happy bouncing next to everyone witnessing.
You remember something that Timmons said earlier, the way that he feels when he drinks that tea that he likes, and he feels that warmth and that like the fullness inside, that when you were describing your art, he was associating with that feeling. And as you feel this rush of this like sweet, cinnamony, this joyful pride from Tio, you recognize what he was saying. There's that weight and a warmth to that of like being seen that feels very it's not always familiar when people interact and look at you.
I think Mim's reaction is just too big of a smile, because that's all they are, is just too much of one thing, unless trying to be otherwise.
for a brief second, Tio looks around and goes,
Too many teeth.
But Mims takes that note almost, but turns it into becoming that intangible feeling of like just some balls of light, little happy sparkles. And honestly, I don't know what they would say. I think they're also speechless because they didn't know what to expect.
So is Mims, you said they like become little balls of light, and they're kind of blobbing. What would be Mims's height in relation to Tio at this moment?
They're floating.
The floating?
They're floating probably closest to Tio's head.
Tio will just like put a little hand out to put a palm near and just say,
Good work.
I know this one.
Mims gives you a handshake.
As a ball of light?
Yes. This sprouts a little nub.
He will flip his hand over sideways to where he can just try to kind of grip a little nub, or if not, just hold hand next and we'll shake along with.
Thank you. I feel seen. And sugar.
And sugar. All right, well.
It tastes good.
Well, perhaps after this, I feel like I might have to have something from Cassandra's bakery.
So, if all else fails afterwards, we'll go get something.
That sounds awesome. You'll get to see Inky's reactions.
Oh, does Inky have one here?
Of course.
And I think Mims spends the rest of the night just showing Tio every single freaking picture.
As the night goes on and you literally have found the way to interact in some ways best, you have picked one person to escort around the gallery, and as you do so, when other people come by to congratulate you or to stop and listen, you're able to have someone around you who kind of keeps you grounded. You walk in, you see Juniper, and they leave early without saying anything to you. But later in the evening, you just get a text that says, "I'll make sure this stays open as long as you'd like."
Thank you for listening to this episode of What Happened to the Malachite Wastes. Each of our adventures are spontaneous tales from our guide, Isabella Z. Vergun, and our marvelous guest, our very own art team lead. Chris is an incredible artist, voice actor, and all-round jack of most trades. You can see more of Chris's work at gargoylepastures.com, at gargoyle.pastures on Instagram, or by joining our Patreon, where you can see more of Chris's behind-the-scenes art and commentary.
Additional voices in order of appearance were provided by Malia Lissette, Nicholas Kirshner, Courtney Green, Nate Clayman, Jacqueline Hyde, Koji, Adrian Gray, Craig Colclough, and me, Luke Mason Sanders.
This show is produced by Annalise Fischer. Our sound team is run by our audio lead, Nate Clayman, and Nicholas Kirschner as our additional dialogue editor. Our music was created and produced by our composer, Ryan Tucker. Our art team is led by our art director, Chris Gargoyle Pastures, and features our incredible artists, Caroline Gendron and Anna Renee Chavez. Our team would not be complete without the hard work of our social media manager, Frankie Gula, our Lorekeepers, Kyler Carter and Brandy Allaire, and our server warlock, Alex Glica. Find us on Instagram and TikTok at the Malachite Wastes, or join us on the official Malachite Waste Discord server to see more of their amazing contributions. If you'd like to support our team and the work that they do, please consider subscribing to our Patreon, where you can find all kinds of cool bonus content, like Session Zeros, Patreon-exclusive interviews, and sketches, sneak peeks at upcoming arts, and so much more. You can find all of our incredible team's individual work linked in the episode description below.